US President Donald Trump is trying his best to weaponize the tariffs against India.
The United States has officially escalated its trade dispute with India starting August 27th. Washington will impose a massive 50% tariff on Indian goods entering the US market.
You know, months ago, there was a news briefing in the United States and they were telling, you will be tariffed. You will be tariffed. You staring at me? You will be tariffed. I don't like you. You will be tariffed. I didn't think I would be affected. Me as a middle class US citizen didn't think I would be affected this soon. But when I started looking at the trend in my grocery bill, I realized it did affect me. So the question has to be asked, what is this buzzword tariff? So let's get into it. Now imagine, you are an Indian exporter. You have built your business over 15 years, hired 200 people, invested everything, and one morning you wake up and find out that selling your product in America just became 50% more expensive. Not because you raised the prices, not because the quality dropped, but because someone in Washington signed a piece of paper. That's not hypothetical, that's happening right now. While Indian businesses are getting squeezed in the US, India just signed one of the most aggressive trade deals in the history with the European Union. Almost 97% of the goods, zero tariff. So here is what we need to figure out today. Is India losing the trade war with America, or is it abandoning the battlefield entirely and opening a new front? And why should you sitting and there is opportunity? The pain line give a damn about any of this. Because I promise you, this decides what you pay, what you get, what you made, and who holds the power. Subscribe to the Halak Show because understanding the system isn't boring. Being manipulated by it is. Let me explain this in the simplest possible way. A tariff is a tax on stuff coming into our country. Country A says, you want to sell here? Cool, pay me 20% extra. Now if a country B gets annoyed and says, oh yeah, fine, I'll tax your products 30%. And then country A fires back with 40%. Congratulations, you are now in a tariff war. And here's the part that no one talks about. Tariff war doesn't protect your wallet, they empty it. Because companies pay more to import, so they charge you more. Meanwhile, exporters lose competitiveness abroad, jobs shrink, and politicians smile at the camera saying, we are protecting national interest. But whose interest really? Here's the truth. Tariff wars are silent. No bombs, no soldiers, no drama, just your grocery bills quietly going up. For decades, the world believed in one idea. Open trade, lower barriers, everyone wins. That's the idea, right? It's dying. Countries are choosing ranks. Trust is evaporating, and the biggest driver of this shift, the United States. Not because under one administration, this is bipartisan now. Republicans and Democrats might fight about everything else, but on trade protectionism, they agree. And India is feeling the heat. What the US is doing to India, let's talk numbers. Indian exporters in textiles, chemicals, engineering, goods and apparels are facing tariffs of 40%, 50%, some even higher in specific categories. Now imagine, you are the exporter. Your costs are already rising. Your margins were already thin, and now the biggest market in the world just priced you out. What do? You have three options. Absorb the cost and go bankrupt slowly. Raise the prices and lose the customers. Or exit the market and find someone else to sell it to. Guess which one most businesses are choosing? Option 3. And that's not speculation. Indian Export Association has publicly said the US market is becoming unviable. You know what tariff wars remind me of? Breakups. Both sides say, I am totally fine with you. I don't even think about you. And then spend the next year checking each other's Instagram. Now here is where it gets interesting. While Washington is texting Indian goods into oblivion, India finalizes a massive free trade agreement with the European Union. And it's not talking about small deals. This covers 96 to 97% of all goods traded. Access to 450 million consumers. Major sectors like textile, chemicals, engineering, spices, machinery, all getting zero tariff now. For context, this is one of India's most comprehensive trade deals ever. And here is the kicker. India agrees to slash car import tariffs from 100% down to around 30%. That's huge because India has protected its auto sector like its fortress. for decades. But now, India is opening the gates. And why? Because this isn't charity. This is chess. Here is the tell. A senior US official publicly said they were disappointed with the India-EU agreement. Think about that word, disappointed. Not concerned, not monitoring, disappointed. That's the language you use when someone you thought needed you doesn't anymore. Because here's what the deal does. Indian exporters reduce dependency on the US. US leverage over India weakens. Europe becomes India's strategic trade partner, and in geopolitics, dependency is currency. Nobody likes losing currency. Let's be honest. This isn't a fairy tale. There is pain and there is opportunity. The pain, exporters heavily invest in the US are bleeding. Small and mid-sized players don't have the capital to pivot. Some businesses will shut down. That's the reality. And where's the opportunity? The opportunity, Europe becomes a serious alternative engine. Indian companies stop betting everything on one market. Risk spreads, resilience grows. Think of it like investing. You don't put all your money in one stock. India just diversified its portfolio. So, here is Halak's happiness hack for this week. Stop being scared of complexity. Most people avoid topics like tariffs, trade deals, and economics because they sound intimidating. But here's the secret. These systems affect your life whether you understand them or not. The difference is understanding them gives you calm. Ignoring them gives you anxiety. Knowledge doesn't create fear. Ignorance amplifies it. So the next time you hear the word tariff war, don't tune out, because this silent war decides which business survives, where jobs move, what you pay at the checkout counter, and who holds the card in the global game. If you want me to dive deeper, maybe how this affects your groceries, your jobs, your startups in India, drop your thoughts in the comment section. Till then, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Halak Show. Stay real, people.